different level. You won't see nobody like me for like 12 other years. You see what they do all the time. I'm different level. You crazy? You can't even coach my type of style. They style is regular. I gave him crazy work. Crazy work. Crazy work. And then look, and the dudes you kept getting all this love to, crazy work. Crazy work. Don't ever try me. Ever.
Let me go.
This sounds so easy. It's like some man. He's tripping.
Hold on, let me ask you a question.
Check his drink. He's tripping.
Why are you up?
Because I got some important shit going on here. What do you think?
Boom, the world class. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Good evening.
Nice. Wow. All right. The chat. Hello, chat. Hi, Lady Navoa. Miss Brown Ellie. I think she might be joining us. How are you ladies doing, Savannah?
I'm amazing. Ready for the show? How are you? Looking all angelic.
I do. I don't know why.
Because you're an angel.
Oh. I don't know why. I don't know why I went angelic today, but I guess, you know, we're trying to do a noble. We're trying to do a noble thing here.
We are. Hi, Dallas.
Hey, Savannah. Hey, Lexie.
Dallas, I love your look. It is so like rock and roll.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm a little bit country. I'm a little bit rock and roll.
I feel like you need to be like with a bass, like just rocking out. Like, yeah.
I've partied like a rock star before.
Savannah, you look freaking adorable, man. I can't take it. I can't take it. Savannah, I feel like you could be my daughter, so I don't even want to leave you. I don't want to let you out the house.
Well, I'm indoors today, so you don't have to worry.
So how are you?
Ladies look beautiful.
Who? What?
You ladies look beautiful.
I know. I mean, like, damn, it's so nice to see beautiful female faces on a panel than all these nasty, bitter men we've been witnessing over the last few weeks or months, or depending on where you want to start the trauma. Like the trauma bonding amongst men, right? That's what it looks like. That is what it looks like. Like all these men fighting. I don't even know what they're fighting. I don't know what they're fighting about. I don't know what the issue is, because I've never like real life witnessed like men say to each other exactly what they think, like and it not escalate in real life. Like in real life, like 2 sentences in, it would have been like a problem. Problem. You know, these men are coming at each other with like monologues. Monologues of words that are like being projected, and they're taking that moment to have like a diarrhea of their pain, because that's what it shows up to me. Like, you know, I have no problem, you know, admitting maybe when I'm deficient and I shouldn't be in certain settings because I might not be able to deal with or tolerate or have the temperament for the situation. But these guys don't care. They're like, I don't care, you know, if I shouldn't even be here talking. I'm going to say what I have to say. And it's really a turnoff. It's such a turnoff. I see people that I think are, CJ's here. Hi, CJ. I see people that they're trying to do the good work, and then they get pulled in. You know, they get pulled in into that environment. And I don't know. I mean, I know we're gonna have. We want to. Hi, Natasha. I know. We want to have the ladies come up on the panel and speak up, because I really want to know how the females are feeling. I know a few months back, we had a show where it was, we were bringing to the light how some of these men don't let us speak freely in these spaces. And now I think it's even worse, because I see that when one female or two females, the guys will be attacking each other. And then if a female shows up or two females show up and they share a different perspective respectfully, now the guys ignore their fight to attack her. Now they could all become one, because now they want to attack this person who just has a different perspective, and she's presenting it respectfully. She's not being like using foul language, and they still, don't give her the ability to have a different opinion. And so there's like a strong group think. And when you start seeing that level of groupthink where men are not really talking about whatever the true issue is amongst themselves or in the public, publicly for us to witness, they don't call each other out on anything. They claim to want to represent the thing that they are demonstrating the behavior of. They want to be righteous, and they want to be progressive, and they want to be about the bag and about all this stuff. And they're just like demonstrating a lack of control and a lack of respect. And even the people who really are doing successful in this space, in my opinion, continue to create more environments for more toxicity. Hi, Brown Ellie. Ooh,
Hey,
how
ladies.
pretty you are.
Okay.
Wow, look how pretty you are. I love your eyes.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah,
Y'all
you
were
look Dominican. That's right.
gorgeous. You think so?
Yeah, you look like my little niece. I'm like, oh, she looks like Leah. Yeah, she has your face like that. That's what she's gonna look like when she's older. Yeah, I have to send that to my brother, a picture of you. Yeah, oh my God, especially your eyes, like, damn. But yeah, so I just I wanted to really see, how the chat is feeling about the stuff that they're witnessing. The chat has been here longer than I have, dealing with all these different faces and all these different facets of what some of us have witnessed, and some of us have been dragged into. We've been in situations where we now have to, you're not being feminine. Listen, Buster, if you coming at me, I'm gonna come at you with my karate chop, and it's not gonna look feminine. Like, don't try to come at me and expect me not to use all my wisdom, wit, and cleverness to put you in your place the best way that I can. So I just wondered how everybody overall, has been feeling about this. It really bothers me. Like I said, it turns me off. And and I just want the ladies and gentlemen, I'll let you up on the panel later if any gentlemen want to show up and want to speak up. But I think sometimes, you know, when the men in our families or the men that we care about get into something, we try to leave it alone and let them figure it out. But there comes a point sometimes where a female has to step in and say, hey, fellas, hold up a second. Like, this is getting out of hand. You know, this is now getting out of hand. Like, you know, we have the mass media and the propaganda distracting us from a lot of things amongst ourselves and within ourselves that we need to work on. And now we come to this space of YouTube to feel a certain sense of freedom and unity and have conversations. And now we are turning this into like a space where CPS needs to come in here and save some of us.
You can't fully trust CPS either, though, but I hear you.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So I'll be quiet for a minute and let somebody else speak up and share their perspective and how and their sentiment.
Well, I would just say that I agree, and that's part of the reason why I took kind of like a hiatus from YouTube, because I got tired of all of the bickering that was going on back and forth. And I guess for me, I was originally tired of it when the Elle magazine came out and mentioned Mr. Palmer, and you saw the manosphere basically just get into this back and forth with each other about who was supposed to be at the top, who should have been recognized, who should have been mentioned in the article. And I said, of all the things for you to focus on, I can't believe that that's what you focused on. For me, anyone who knows what Elle magazine is, you should know who Elle magazine is distributed to. So the fact that there was an article printed in Elle magazine mentioning Mr. Palmer and what he stands for is the concept that they're paying attention to what is being said in these spaces. And normally you haven't had this many Black men that have had a voice, that have been able to voice that on a large platform. YouTube has enabled them to voice their issues on a large platform, and they're starting to sway public opinion. So when the Elle magazine got published, the first thing I thought about was, hey, this is proof that they are actually listening to us. And then you turn right around and we started fighting. So they're listening to you, and this is what you give them to listen to. But I think a lot of it has a lot to do with, one, of course, you know, social media has allowed us to basically say what we want to say without any repercussions. Nobody's coming to your house. You don't know this person. You're probably never going to meet this individual. So a lot of us have become keyboard warriors. But I think a bigger issue is that we don't know how to agree to disagree. We feel like if somebody has an opposing opinion, then one of us has to be right and one of us has to be wrong. And because everybody has this innate desire to want to be right, we get into this back and forth where nobody can resolve anything. So even on panels where men are having serious conversations, they get into these back and forths where we are not solving anything. We're just fighting now. And I don't understand where it's coming from. I don't know if it's about somebody wanting to have the biggest voice. I don't know if it's about somebody wanting to be a shock jock. I don't know what the drive is, but there's a lot of it going on. And it's getting to the point that can we actually have a conversation without the bickering? Can we realize that you can have an opposing opinion and both of you still be right in what you feel? Both of you still have can substantiate where you're coming from. You don't have to agree with an end goal, but you can understand why somebody feels the way they feel about something. And it's crazy, but a lot of times then you get into a situation where when women enter the panel, men automatically get into this, we've got to attack women because now there's this gender war that nobody can get past. You remember the story about the woman, 31 or 41-year-old woman that was sleeping with a 13-year-old boy and ended up getting pregnant. Of course, when that story came out, everybody was talking about it. Well, it was on one of the news networks where I simply put a comment on there that, well, to me, since she's not getting any jail time, it sounds like street justice ought to kick in. All of a sudden, there were these men that came and attacked me. They was like, oh, you might as well do it yourself. Nobody's coming to save you. And, you know, you're the type of chick that'll put a battery in a man's back. And I was like, yo, apparently you know absolutely nothing about me because I don't believe in battery packing a man. If I got a battery pack you, you're not a man to me. That's just how I feel about the situation. I said, but I understand that most of you are just conditioned now to attack any woman that has a viewpoint. I said, but when I said street justice, I wasn't talking about any random individual. deciding that they were going to take justice out on this individual person. What I said was, since this person wasn't going to do any time, if the family had decided to take street justice, none of us should bat an eye about it. Because had that been my child, we wouldn't be having this conversation. So, but yeah, it's a lot of it, and it's pointless, and it's getting to the point now where I really just wanted to tune out, and I've taken a step back from YouTube because I'm just tired of all the bickering amongst men, and we're not going to solve any of our problems with fighting amongst each other.
That is very well put, Dallas. It's like you said something like they all want their voices heard the way, you know, it's like, I guess some of them grew up in homes where they didn't have a voice, you know, and now they have to repeat themselves and be louder and be.
Or they live with women that don't let them talk at home.
Yeah, like that, yes. Like that. That's the thing that we're witnessing, is that manifestation that for some reason in their real life space, their voice is not heard or respected. You know, so then here they want to force feed us their ideas. They want to scream into us their belief, you know, and we're like, dude, like, you can just talk to me. Like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, why are you taking it out on me? Like, I'm just here to share a perspective, and because you don't have the same one, you don't know how to have like you said, Dallas, agree to disagree. Like, you can't do that and still have love and respect for one another.
It's an automatic attack.
That's very true. I think y'all both hit some good points. I don't know. It's getting uncomfortable when you feel like you're having to be the logical one in a conversation as a woman. I think that's also something that's triggering for some of the men on the panel when they see that you have more composure than they do. I do think it's strange that other men can criticize men like Mr. Palmer or even Noble when you see them putting in actual work in the community. It's like they become a target, and also the women that support gentlemen like that also become a target. So it's just, like you said, Dallas, I just kind of removed myself from a lot of the spaces because it's just strange. It's really strange. What have to say?
For me, I honestly think, like, I look at the space and I look at the content creators, and then I look at the people that they allow on their panels. And then from a little bit of history of the space, I can determine that like half of this is like satire, half of it is like people like venting and trauma bonding. The other half is entertainment. And then it's like that nice 10 to 15% of like actual like information that means something. And you gotta like almost dig around all of the BS to understand exactly where they're coming from. Like, I can kind of understand it because I've looked at it that way, and I don't try to argue with people. So I'm not one of them people that's gonna hop on the panel and be like, "Oh, you're wrong." I don't believe in arguing with people because it doesn't change anybody's opinion. Like, you're gonna think how you want to think anyways. It's pointless for me to get mad arguing with you for nothing to come up resolve it. So it's just like, when you look at it for what it is, and then that's where I kind of separate myself. So certain spaces I don't go in if I feel like, oh, like they have too many people that like, you know, that are saying too many things that I don't align with, and I won't go over there. But a lot of the stuff I just can't take it to heart, and I can't take it seriously because like a lot of it is satire and a lot of it is for entertainment purposes, and a lot of people just like flip and flop their narrative. So you don't even know who you're really like even debating, if they even feel that way or if they just feel that way for the day. It's a lot of what's the word?
Dick riding?
Yeah, like, so you can't even get mad at it. You got to just kind of realize it for what it is. And
like, this is what it looks like when guys dick ride. This is what
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
This is what it looks like when you are on your journey to selling out.
Yep.
I
wanted
mean,
to
that's
touch on
what go ahead.
I wanted to touch on a point that she brought up about not being able to take people seriously because a lot of it is satire and entertainment, and I agree. But I do disagree with not taking them seriously, even though it's satire, even though it might be entertainment, even though a lot of people are doing it for clout, they're just doing it for numbers. That may be the case. Even if so, a lot of the things that people are saying in the face of entertainment, in the face of clout chasing, in the face of satire, if you would be willing to do that, then it still makes me question who you are as an individual. So whether you're doing it for kicks and giggles, whether you're doing it for social media likes and shares, just to be a shock jock, I still question your morality, and I don't fool with you because
Yeah, it's still a
I
reflection.
just feel like I would feel like you would sell your soul out.
It's definitely a reflection of you. I feel like how you act on the internet in general is a reflection of you. So if you're the type of person that'll flip flop and do whatever for views and attention and likes, then taking your message out of it, that's the type of person that you will be. Putting a message in it, that's the type of person that you will be. And I feel like, I don't know, like I feel like for people that aren't in the space, for the spectators, like, because I know at first I would get like upset about what people were saying, and then like I realized like these people don't even care what they're saying. Like they just say anything. Like, and I say it like at least like a couple times a week. Like y'all log on, y'all wake up in the morning, log on YouTube, and just say whatever. Like create narratives, create realities, like say whatever. So it's like at that
You are
point,
watching a master at work. You
at
are
that point,
watching
you
a
can't get
master
mad.
at work.
You know what's going on.
You are
Like you already
watching
hit
a
the
master
game.
at work.
I know, like for instance, like I know the game, like where they invite a woman on a panel and they act nice and they bait and switch her, and then she ends up getting mad and arguing. Like I'm already hip to it. Like I'm not getting dragged into none of that. Like, like I've been around it enough to watch how people move, to watch the people that move. Like, and you can kind of like with certain content creators, you know that their message is serious, and you know that they're saying what they mean, and you know that they're pushing through with a mission to what they are doing. But I feel like a lot of people are just like missionless. So like when you don't have a real mission, what are you really doing? Like what are you working towards? What are you improving? And that's kind of how I kind of look at the space. Like if you're a content creator, like what type of content are you making? Like who are you allowing over there? Like is this all the time? Is it sometimes? Like are you sharing your real true opinion? Like do your narratives line up and like with what you said in the past, like or with what you said last week or like your last stream? Like all of that matters, and you can't get emotional and try to fight with them because like I said, like half the time it's just most of the people it's just entertainment and satire. Like they don't take it seriously.
I just want to say hi to Tommy. Hi, Tommy. Hopefully you might be able to get on this panel because I know you are definitely a great observer of all these characters. We just call them fraudulent characters because I think Brownie, you're right, because I do think like when they see like certain men show up, they get hyped up and ready. Like they get ready. Like it's not let's have a conversation. It's like, yo, they just ready, like they just ready to attack, you know? And then when the female shows up, that's when they get, all of a sudden they become one voice, like to see if she measures up. You know what I mean? Like, and then, like I think Savannah said, God forbid you're a pretty girl with a good point. Now you are labeled all these things. All these ideas.
Bang, 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 bang.
They have all these ideas about women who are capable that they can't imagine that a woman like me won't have more than 10 bodies or 5 bodies. They're worried about all these additional stuff that is like, why can't you just accept me for my greatness? Right? Why? Because if I see somebody great walk into the room, I'm gonna show respect. That's what greatness does. It acknowledges your brilliance. You know?
You know what, Lexi, what bothers me about the body count conversation is that men only care about body count now because another man told them to care about it. Now, don't get me wrong. Your body count is a reflection of you. I wholeheartedly
Bang,
believe that.
bang, bang,
However,
bang,
if
bang,
men
bang.
really cared about a woman's body count, every man wouldn't be out here trying to screw every piece of coochie they could get their hands on from the age of 17 to 35.
Bang, 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 bang.
And they use those type of points to now diminish her point, her intellect, and now it brings her guard up, which makes her defensive, right? And now, sometimes you get caught in their trap, you get caught in their web, and now your voice is drowned out. Your voice is drowned out. And then the moment that, let's say, you drop the panel or you leave, they're there to destroy you. They're there to really make veiled threats, and then what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed and then they don't call each other out amongst themselves, like there was a panel where Anton was making some statements, and another gentleman, I think his name was Philosophical, was trying to share his perspective. And then it became the Great Wall of China to protect Anton. It became that everybody was like, oh no, you can't talk to him like that. Oh no, you can't refer to those type of things. That's Anton. It's like, have you guys never been around like a person with a gold watch? Is that a big thing? Is that something that you're so impressed by? Because you want to talk about women being impressed by money, right? And women only being with guys because of money. But damn, I've seen a lot of little sugar baby boys in this space.
Bang, 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 bang.
Damn, these sugar baby boys want to have a sugar daddy. What? Oh my
Shit like that,
goodness,
shit like that, shit like
boys.
that, shit like that.
These sugar boys want to be sugar babes.
The only sugar they have is the sugar in their tank.
That's right. And that sugar
If
is
some of y'all need to put some sugar in your shoes and sweet talk them pants down, because I'm tired of seeing y'all men's ankles.
I'm like, wow, I mean,
oh my gosh.
These men don't even have the balls to at least protect a woman in the sense of like, hey, buddy, don't talk to her like that on a panel. But damn, don't come at their leader. Don't come at their like a messiah. Because they're ready. They're drawing weapons. They're making veiled threats. They're like, and it's like, damn, you guys don't see how you guys are the gold diggers?
Bang, 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 bang.
But you know what? But you brought up a good point, though. But I told a guy, men are leading with their wallets. You're getting into these spaces now where men want to talk about the women that are gold diggers, the women that go out to restaurants with men or allow men to take them out and court them just so that they can get a free meal. Don't get me wrong, it happens. I can agree with that. It happens all the time. But I was on a panel with a couple of men, and they were having this conversation. I was the only woman there. And they were talking about that, about, women, always wanting to order the most expensive thing on the menu. And so I brought up a point. I said, well, because he made a statement that, and I think I told you this, Lexie, he made a statement that if I take a woman out to a restaurant, I'm going to tell her what she can order, or you can't order anything past this limit. I said, well, I would never go out with you. He automatically assumed that when I said that, it's because I'm one of those women that takes advantage. And I said, no, sir, that's not why. But if you take me to a restaurant that serves a $40 lobster, and I'm in the mood for lobster, and you're offered to pay, I'm going to order the $40 lobster that I want, not because it's the most expensive thing on the menu, because that's what I wanted. I said, but if you have an issue with that, that means you're leading with your wallet. Because if you couldn't afford the most expensive thing on the menu here, then you didn't have any business taking that woman to that restaurant. And he said, no, that's not true. Women just want to order. And I said, well, okay, let's prove that point. If you take me to McDonald's and I order the most expensive thing on the menu, are you going to be upset with me? He said no. So it's not about the most expensive thing on the menu. It's about you going to a restaurant where you can't afford the most expensive thing on the menu. So stop leading with your wallet and then turning around want to talk about women for taking advantage of you.
And the truth is that those kind of guys that are leading with their wallet to that extent that they're budgeting a date, they really don't got it like that. Like, you know what? Let's go hook up your resume or something. Let me help you out. Let me give you a little pointers to, because I've gained some success and I could order the lobster.
Right. But he couldn't see my point of view. And I said, because you leave with your wallet and you don't know any better. He just swore up and down that I was the type to take advantage. I said, well, no, that's not true, because if I go out on a date with you, I'm probably going to pay for the first date. I've done it all my life. So I don't take advantage. I'm paying for the first date.
And they don't have it like that, Dallas D, because a person who has it like that, male or female, they're going to treat you and they just got it. I got you. I do that for my girls. If I'm saying, I go hang out, I'm like, listen, I got this round. It's not like, hey, girls, let's order this. I want to buy you girls a drink, but it could only be from the happy hour menu. Then I don't really got it like that.
And
what am I perpetrating? What am I pretending to be out here? That I got it? No, clearly I don't.
Something I find interesting is they'll have people in this space that they claim are their leaders, but even Kevin Samuels would advise men, if you're not together financially, you probably shouldn't be dating. So if one date will take you out, if one lobster takes you out, I mean, maybe get another job, look into overtime. You should
or maybe
not be
maybe go to Long John Silver's instead of
by yourself.
I mean, I'm just saying.
By yourself. Not with a lady. No.
I'm just saying. But it just goes to show that they have adapted these talking points and they don't even know what they're arguing anymore. They're just stuck on talking points that they're hearing in the manosphere, and it's driving me nuts. I'm like, you don't even know what you stand behind.
And you know what? I don't like broke guys, and I don't tolerate a lazy man. Everybody needs a helping hand in life, but you need to be about your business. But what I don't like is the way that they weaponize two things, in my opinion. They weaponize women's beauty and they weaponize men's money. They want to knock a woman down because if you're pretty, then you shouldn't be able to talk, or you should be treated a certain way, or you have other females who are straight up haters trying to then come and attack the female so that the fellas could look at her like she's cool, she's down with us. So then you have that, and then you have the men who weaponize money. That amongst themselves they'll be having a debate, and then it's like, well, you broke. Okay, so now because I'm broke, I can't talk on stuff.
Right. Or because you don't have as many subscribers as me.
Bang, bang, bang,
bang, yes, Dallas, the subscribers.
Bang, bang, bang.
Oh, yes.
Bang, bang.
They want quantity over quality. So they're like, you don't have as many subscribers as me, and then and it's like, oh, Dirty Folks is here. Sorry. Hi, Dirty Folks.
I haven't seen Dirty Folks in a minute.
I know. That's why I caught my guard. It caught my attention.
He must have been shadow banned again.
Oh, probably. But they do that. And then the ones that are like, I think Savannah was saying, like, then the ones who have demonstrated they might have a few dollars in their pocket, Man, they have a lot of ass kissers. Man, damn, like,
I'm not mad at you, Hank.
But you know what? It's been like that. I have a theory that I feel like nowadays men want to be treated like bad bees and Instagram models, and that's why they want certain.
You saying Instagram?
they
Bang,
want to be
bang,
us.
bang,
They
bang.
want to know. They want to know what's the day in the life of being a woman who is beautiful, intelligent, and gets spoiled. Because I get spoiled. I'm fucking spoiled, rotten like a root canal spoiled. All right? That's what men around.
I don't know what that means, and I don't want you to keep going.
I know what it means.
You know what I mean? Like that's how way I live life. I live life like I'm on the yellow brick road. You know? And I have times where I feel deficient and things are tough, but the world treats me in a certain way that I know that I'm lucky.
Bang,
I know that I live
bang,
beyond
bang,
blessed life.
bang, bang.
I know that I'm going towards everything that belongs to me and no one can take it away. And you know, these guys like to talk about competition amongst themselves. You know what the competition is? I'm my own competition. I don't have nothing to do with how beautiful and smart Dallas D is, how beautiful and smart Savannah or Brownie is. That can't, it shouldn't affect me, and it shouldn't change who I am. It doesn't impact what I'm doing or how I feel about myself. I'm my own competition. Every day I wake up, it's me I have to face in the mirror. It's just me against me. So it's not like I have to go look at the next girl to figure out like competition.
But that concept is not widely accepted if you consider most people don't understand self-reflection.
You have a great point, and that's true, Dallas. You are right about what you're saying, because I didn't know the words, but that's the thing that I like. What is missing? Why are these men doing this? Why are they doing this? Why is not one of them saying, listen, mofos, yo, this shit looks ridiculous. This is
because Big Baboon needs to be arrested for the last thing he posted on social media. I'm sorry.
Because of the self-reflection that you're saying.
Bang, 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 bang.
Because they don't, you know what? They don't watch the replay and watch how they look and watch
you
how
shouldn't have to watch the replay to catch that.
They don't watch it. They have to watch themselves and be like, damn, that shit look corny. Like they cannot even admit one time amongst themselves when they could be like, yo, bro, I'm sorry, let me fall back. They drive the point. Even when it, like the whole audience can tell that it's like, dude, like just own it. Just be like, damn, you know what? It happens. It happens amongst women. And women, we freaking size each other up. You know? But it happens amongst us that we're like, damn, yo, I dropped the ball. Yo, ma, I'm so sorry. And you feel fucked up. Because you're like, damn, I need to check myself. I'm driving a point, changing the energy in the room, and the whole time I'm freaking wrong. And I didn't have enough sense to just shut up and listen. They don't do that amongst themselves. It's like certain people own the mic. Certain people have control of the mic. And when those people are up on the panel, everybody adheres to the fact that the golden child is got the mic. And no one says something to that golden child. It's yes, look, even if I don't like a person, I will respect their business paradigm. I respect their business model. You know, I don't have to like you to respect how you get things done.
I don't think a lot of people understand that. Their viewpoint of you is associated to their like or tolerance of you. And I think that that's an issue, or it's based on how you look. You don't look like somebody that I would take advice from. You don't sound like somebody that I would take advice from. It has nothing to do with what you're actually saying, but they don't give you a chance based off of initial looks oftentimes.
Bang, 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 bang.
And you're right, because they come in with this, I'm going to show him, I'm going to show her. This is my time to be, whatever it is that I can't be in my real life. And it's really, the over the period of time that I've been participating in these spaces, and certain people provoke them. Noble is very provocative. Savannah is very provocative. Dallas, you're very provocative. You all give a lot of strong perspectives that people want to attack you for. And when they get provoked, or what they like to call triggered, but I don't want to use the word trigger. I want to use when they are experiencing a provocative person, then they can't hide who they are. You know what I mean? Like they lose control of the character. Do you know what? And then like something starts to break down, like the laminate breaks down, and then we see them for what they are. And then when they don't have that kind of like, what I call media training, they just spew things out of the mouth, and they don't recognize how they are exposing themselves, and how true intellectual people, and you don't have to have a PhD to have been blessed with the ability to have wisdom show up in your life. When really true intellectual people try to bring up points, regardless of the age, regardless if it's one of the elders in the space or someone as young as Savannah, and perhaps I think Brownie, you might be a little younger than I am. I think Dallas D and I are in the same age group. But even when women like Dallas and D and I, who are experienced women, who have a little bit, we're seasoned, they don't respect that. A young person comes in, oh, you a young whatever. They don't respect that. You know what I mean? Even the young voices in this space, like Tommy, like CJ, even Sway. I was like, even Sway, which I would love to hear Sway and Savannah on a panel, being both 23 years old, because both of you, I'm sorry, I didn't have that way of thinking at 23 years old. I'm like a mega late bloomer. I might not get my knowledge till I'm in my 80s, because I hear a young person like Savannah speak, and I mean that respectfully, Savannah, even a young man like Sway speak, and they don't give you guys respect because of your age. Like, because you're young.
Bang, 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 bang.
And you guys have it way more together than the old folks.
Yeah, I was surprised when I found out how young
Bang,
Savannah
bang,
was.
bang, bang, bang.
Shit. I'm like, I need to read some more books or something, because Savannah and even Sway, they just bring it in a way that if I was a family member of theirs, I would be very intrigued by their mental makeup. And they get knocked down because of their age. Because, someone like Angry Man or Anton are supposed to have all the answers. You know what I mean? It's like,
if they have all the answers, I don't want the answers.
right.
I'm good with not knowing.
I just think that I don't have anything against Angry Man. I don't really watch his platform like that, but the few times I've seen him, I'm almost under the impression that his viewers like to be abused.
I said this in a couple lives back, but I think a lot of people are masochists. They like the pain and the humiliation.
I'm starting to believe his viewers like to be abused. I don't have anything against him though. But it's the demeanor. It's always the hollering, the yelling, the elevated voices, the attacks. It's all. I was like, calm down. I hear your point, because he's got a lot of valid points. I've heard him speak. Some of his points are very valid, but it's like, dude, calm down. We can all hear you here.
Do y'all want to answer Hink's question?
Of course.
Very good.
Hank, are you inviting us to a coffee date? All 4 of us?
I think that's a monetary question. That's
Oh,
how I took it.
oh, sorry. I thought.
That's how I'm taking it. I may be wrong.
No, I think you're right. I think I'm the one who's having a senior moment. I was like, "Ooh, how cute! We could do a virtual one." I was already at the Starbucks.
So I guess that's a yes.
I was like, "Yes, Hank. Oh my God, Hank is handsome." But I know,
Yeah.
I think Hank is spoken for, so I don't want to disrespect his lady.
Well, to answer the question, yes. Well, I don't like coffee, but like a smoothie date, something like that, yeah. Cool.
That's like a soft date. Like I feel like that's like a hey, what's up? How you doing? Let's see if we actually like each other first. And it's like,
Mhm.
okay, like now we can plan like an official date. Like that's like a soft date. That's not a date date.
Yeah, I agree with what Brownie's saying. That's a nice meet and greet. Let's have an hour, have some coffee or like a smoothie, and then see if then we want to have a true official date, a proper date. So yeah, Natasha, I was already at the Starbucks. I was ordering that cinnamon dolce with almond with oat milk. But yeah, I mean, listen, if a man that I give him the eyes or the eye contact comes up to me and invites me on a coffee date, I will be so giddy all the way to the coffee date, during the coffee date. You know what I mean? Like when we like somebody, we will do anything that you want to do. We just want to be around you. Like we just want to be around you. And the fact that you make an effort to share time with me means everything to me. So it's not about like and it's about the occasion. Like if it's a Valentine's Day and we say we want to go dress up to the nines and go to a beautiful steakhouse, that's what we're gonna do. If we say no, this Valentine's Day, stay in the house, watch movies and chill, like I just want to be with you. I don't want to be without you. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
mean, like,
can't
if a
believe
woman is really feeling you, she's about you. She just wants to be with you. She'll do anything. She'll freaking pick up a new hobby to spend more time with you. Right? Like, I mean, when we're feeling a guy, man, there's nothing nicer than to get that validation from your guy. Right? Or when he calls you and he's like, oh, Tommy is hilarious.
Tommy's about
You
to
know
get
what I
blocked.
mean? It's like, damn, like when you're feeling somebody, and the gentlemen know, I think when the gentlemen are feeling a lady that something different happens in him, then he's like, man, this girl's got me open. Like I want to do stuff. I want to be with her. And so, yeah, coffee date, sharing
But I
time
think it's
together.
crazy that he was considered cheap or broke for suggesting a coffee date. When did it start costing money to get to know somebody? If this is our first date, why do we have to go to Ruth's Chris? Why? It's a first date. I'm not under. I can go to a bookstore. Honestly and truthfully, I would prefer a bookstore because I want to know what type of reading you do. I want to know what you're into. I want to know what stimulates your mind. I would rather go to a bookstore.
I think nowadays people are trying to redefine what date means because I heard some people say some crazy things or dates in the space. I heard somebody talking about a Target date. Like,
What's Target date? Y'all go grocery shopping together?
I'm like, that's a date. Like, that's not a date. Like, that's not a date to me, but some people, I don't know. Like, I feel like people are trying to redefine like these terms, and then that's where the confusion gets in. Then it's like, oh no, like a coffee date isn't a date because it's not a formal date. It's like a soft date, but people are trying to switch it and make it like a formal date. Like, I don't want to go out to eat. Like, I just want to take you out to coffee type, or I just want to take you out to do these type of things, type of thing. And I feel like when you redefine it like that, it makes it real like confusing as far as like what an actual date is. So
But you know what? I guess that would be determined by the person, because if you are a Target fanatic, you might be completely enthusiastic and love the idea of him taking you to Target and letting you grocery shop and him swiping his debit card. That may get you.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, and I don't want you to keep going. What's going on?
I'm serious. Like I said, I would rather go to a bookstore. That's me. I like to read, and the guys that I date, I would prefer you read. I just would prefer you read.
But you know what else? It's about the intention and the spirit with which something is done. You know, it's about the intention and the spirit with which something is done. Because if the guy is watching his pockets, or he has like this agenda stuff of like, I'm going to take her on a coffee date, I'm not going to spend money. And then when we go on our date, she cannot order the lobster. Dude, you're not doing anything with the right intention. You're not doing anything with the right spirit. And then at the end, you're going to say, fuck that B. I took her out and she didn't give it up. Yeah, but you're not giving the context of what it's like to spend time with you.
Yeah, that's the guy that needs to focus on his finances and not chasing ass.
Right. Or he needs to come out the closet and say that he wants to be treated like a sugar babe. He wants a sugar daddy. You know? He wants to know what it's like, because to be us, or to be women like us, it's a coveted position. You know, we don't recognize that because we're just living our life, dealing with our shit. But when it comes down to it, we the motherfucking shit.
Me and Mr. Palmer going to get jobs together at Walmart.
Oh my God. That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Well, that means that you can barely hear the truth. So who has the problem here? Who has the problem?
Because they want it. I think men who really don't have it, right? Like they say, are you that guy? Are you that guy? You are not that guy. You know, I hear like men say that to me. I need a sugar. Tommy, you're naughty. You're naughty. I think some of those men have like obsessional thoughts of what it could be like to be a woman, or be a specific woman. A woman that perhaps they can never attain or even be around. Dirty Folks is always with the tacos. She only gets 2 tacos.
Hey, it's a lot of people that love tacos.
True.
I do think because they really fight, they fight the fact that women, we get spoiled. We can get whatever we want out of most men. And what? You like, that's the privilege. That's the privilege. What's wrong with having pretty girl privilege, or women having a privilege? Like, they don't like that. Like, they don't like women exercising their female privilege. They get very provoked by that. They really
I think a lot of that is justified, though. Because I think women are taking advantage of the fact that they have the female privilege. And I think a lot of women are, the fact that men are coming to grips with what women are, and the fact that we know there are women that take advantage. We're not going to act like it doesn't happen. We're not going to act like gold diggers don't exist. We're not going to act like hoes don't exist. We're not going to act like women aren't having check babies. We're not going to act like those situations don't exist. And the issue with women practicing hypergamy, I think women are getting upset with men now because they feel like men think that they have they're not allowed to have expectations. or they don't accept the fact that women practice hypergamy, and that's not true. Men have always known that women practice hypergamy. Women are just getting upset that men have found out, or not necessarily found out, that they're voicing it. So men have always known that. Men have always known that women look for security, women look for protections, they look for provisions. In order to look for those things, you practice hypergamy. The idea of hypergamy is survival. So you look for providers and protectors in men. That's innate for women. So men have always known that. It's just the manners in which women are doing it. Men are now coming to grips with. Women really are willing to do anything for survival of themselves. They're not willing to survive. They're not willing to go through anything for the survival of their children. They're not willing to go through anything to sacrifice, for their household. It's strictly for themselves. And I think that's where a lot of these back and forth gender issues are coming from. So for men, I think a lot of that is justified because of how women are actually using their female privilege. And they're using it to take advantage, not just because you have pretty girl privilege, but they're using it in ways that is actually causing a lot of men distress. They're using it to harm men. They're using it to lock men up. They're using it to unjustly incriminate men. They're using it. So I think a lot of that actually is justified, to be honest with you.
I definitely do agree that their cages have been rattled or something with with certain type of females being exposed or exposing themselves and having no shame to it. But I just don't see them being able to put certain women in a certain category who don't belong under that umbrella. And at least the women that you respect, show the respect. I don't see them respecting any women. They barely even respect the men like Mr. Palmer or men who are really making a difference on some of these platforms. They don't even respect the men doing it.
Yes, that's exactly what I mean.
But I haven't seen them, Dallas D, like take one female who's really contemporary and modern in her perspective. She's cool, someone that we could all bug out with. I don't see them even giving that kind of lady or female the respect to be like, Ben, you know what? She's got it.
Oh, yeah, most of them don't.
They don't even do that. They don't even do that. They don't do that amongst themselves, and they definitely don't show the women. They put all the women under one umbrella. If you want a man who has a certain level of success, then something's wrong with you. You want the 6 figures, 6 feet tall, 6-inch penis, whatever the hell it is a problem with you because you know what you want. You're supposed to be out here taking whatever you can get or whatever I want to give you. No, I know my worth. And that's the thing. Some of these men are not, they have never witnessed women in their life who know their worth. You're not going to tell me what my worth is. I know my stock value. I'm on the NASDAQ, baby.
Yeah, but a lot of women need to go to the pawn shop and get reassessed because they have seriously yeah.
Because they're like, even like I was saying, there's fraudulent men there. Just like I said before, there's fraudulent men. There are a lot of fraudulent females as well that they play the part. And they know how to so they play the part, and what they do is that they tickle that little bit of flesh between the man's balls and his anus. A little piece of flesh there, I forget what it's called. Right? She knows how to tickle it. She knows how to breathe on it. It's a sensation he never felt before. And then now she's one of the minions. She's the one, even though what she has to say is toxic, she's protected. She is the one that, that is identified as the ultimate female species.
Right.
And it's like, you guys don't have any standard. Like, what's the standard? Like, if you, oh, we take care of it behind closed doors. Well, behind the scenes, you don't know the discussions that happen. Well, no, because a lot of these things that are happening, we're witnessing on a public platform.
Mm-hmm.
And why can't you demonstrate what it looks like when one person who's a subordinate doesn't agree with their leader, if that's how you guys have it laid out on your organization board?
If you are as a man or as a male, if you are deriding in public, I think you should correct people in public as well.
Bang, 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 bang,
Back.
bang, bang.
And also, I think sometimes when it comes to how we see some of the women on panels being handled, I think as much as the space talks about single mothers and the effects of how that comes about when, you know, people hop on panels, I think that they're not used to dealing with people who do come from healthy households. A lot of the times it's so easy to get caught up in single mothers this, or women are like this, females are like that, that when you do see somebody who maybe has a good head on their shoulders, you're kind of blinded by the rage that you don't get a chance to actually interact with somebody who has a healthy mindset. So
I think the rage that you're speaking on is legit, Savannah, because there is a thing called narcissistic rage. Hi, Dusto. There is a thing. Hey, Truth, I see you in the chat. Hey, DeBelle. There is a thing as such as narcissistic rage. And that is blinding. And I think what you're saying is true. I think that rage that they have held on for so long, or that doesn't get to spew out at the, you know, however they want, or they're on the edge. Whatever's going on in their life, they're just edgy. Like everything is like a defense. It's like a defense. It's like a defense. It's like, do you see like the anger in you? Do you see that you're like coming unhinged on a public platform, and no one is saving you? No one in your organization board has the balls to say, hey, Lex, you're looking crazy, sis. So I can say, oh, damn, let me calm down. They just let you go. They let you go because they want to be liked, or they want to adhere to these rules or whatever agreement. But that is not in the best interest of your organization when no one can bring up to the attention of the a leader.
They need an HR department.
They need HR.
I feel like a lot of people operate. If you grew up in dysfunction, I don't know, I've been around people that grew up in dysfunction and things like that. So it's like they communicate different. And a lot of times it's not even somebody necessarily trying to be mean, but it's like the only way they know how to communicate, right? It's like if you are used to, like, if you come from a chaotic family where everybody's used to screaming and yelling and calling each other out their name, then you might not look at that as disrespectful as somebody that was raised in a proper home that knows, like, hey, you shouldn't be calling people out their name like that. It's going to get a completely different reaction because you're like, I don't know, like, I call my sister a B, like, I've been calling her a B, like, okay, like, that's not necessarily right. But when you immersed in it, you don't know that it's wrong. So then I feel like a lot of people on the internet, the algorithm kind of puts people in trauma pockets together. So when you have multiple people, because you can even see it on different panels sometimes when people are talking about, like, it can be a panel full of men and they can be talking and they just can't communicate. Like, they're arguing, yelling, cussing each other out, and it's like, like, what happened? What's going on? Like, but it's just they literally don't know how to talk to people. And it's like you have to be able to, like, realize and recognize that, like, hey, like, this person ain't, like, all the way there. Like, they don't know how to necessarily communicate effectively. And you get upset by it, but you shouldn't let that make you upset because you have to like realize that the person that you're talking to is already broken and kind of like chaotic to begin with.
But you know what happens too, Brownie? That what we get to see is how they manifest the female behavior that they were raised amongst. So they think because they're men, I'm alpha. They think they have all the answers. They think they know how to communicate the most effective way. And so now the person goes into these rants, and then a person who's making a point raises their voice a little bit to be able to communicate. And then that emotional person calls that other person, oh, you're getting it, you're emotional. And it's like, buddy, did you just see yourself? Like you like literally became like Medea. You literally just became that person, but I'm the one who's emotional because now
bang, bang, bang.
Kind of like rise up to be able to match you so that I can communicate with you. Come on in. Excuse me 1 second.
And I want to touch on a point that she brought up about some of the people being immersed in certain culture, and it, you know, that's how they talk at home. Everyone around them, that's how they communicate. So they don't know how to communicate with others. But that's another reason why I step back and don't immediately get insulted by what I hear people say on social media. Because I've realized, especially when you're typing on social media, like in a channel, in a chat, or if you're on a post on social media sites like a Facebook or Instagram, and you're making comments, a lot of things can be inferred based on your perception, and life is your perception of it. So if you've never been called the B word, your girlfriends don't speak like that, your mother never called you one growing up in a home, and then all of a sudden you run into an individual and that's just naturally how they talk. If you've never heard it, you're automatically going to get offended. But I always like to step back and find out if this is who this person is. I can adapt to who you are as long as I know that's who you are. Now, if you're only like this with me and I notice that you're not communicating like this with everybody else, that's where I start to have a problem. But I don't think enough people know how to step back and realize that there are cultural differences. And a lot of our miscommunication comes strictly from that this is how this person communicates over here. And because you've never communicated like that over here, then you don't know how you can't make those two lives mesh. And so we get into this back and forth with one another because we don't understand each other. So oftentimes we just need to take a step back and find out who this person is before we automatically get insulted. Now, some things you should automatically be insulted by, like the Red Bull comment, Big Bad Bull comment. You should automatically be insulted by that. But just how they talk, how they speak, how they communicate, the words that they say, sometimes it is just about culture. It is just about how they were raised. It's about the environment that they grew up in, because most of us are products of our environment. So I agree with that. But I think we all as individuals need to start stepping back and realizing the difference in those cultures and stop getting to these automatic insult back and forth debates with each other because we don't understand how we communicate.
Well, if you say you're about your bag, if you say you're about your business and your money, what kind of business are you doing where you could talk to other business people that way?
Well, unless your business is in the street.
Bang, 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 bang.
Sorry, Savannah, I think I interrupted you.
Oh no, I forgot what I was gonna say. You're good.
It's like I go to business meeting just about every single day, and we have to have polite conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we use etiquette. Our words.
You have to have an etiquette.
Right, there's an etiquette, exactly. So you're gonna be. I'm sorry, go Savannah.
Oh, sorry. I think some people really forget that this is recorded and this is on the internet, and people can go back and see your pattern of behavior across multiple platforms, talking to multiple different people. So I think a lot of times it's one thing for you to have an isolated situation where you are not able to communicate with somebody effectively, but I've seen people hop on panels where you're talking about where the topic is communication, and you have conflict with everybody on the panel. So I think a lot of people, they just like at work and in our real lives, there are people known for certain things, and a lot of people on these panels talking that hot ish. Y'all don't know how to talk to people, men, women, children. Because a lot of y'all are, you know what, I'm not gonna say that. A lot of y'all have issues communicating with all walks of life.
I think that's just going to get worse with the future
Mm-hmm.
generations, because if you think about what COVID did to everybody, it isolated everybody. It forced everybody, home in isolation, away from everybody else. And you have this younger generation that's growing up who may have been a little, maybe 12, 13 years old, during that time, and they're growing up in a social media environment. I think that it's just going to get worse, the inability to communicate with individuals. Unfortunately.
I
Hi,
agree.
Dusto. Welcome back, Brownie.
Let's go.
Yeah. Hi, Dusto.
All right. I'm sorry, I got lost in a train of thought of just all that goodness I just heard.
Washed. Like we weren't supposed to come up with something this clean. Like something happened.
We didn't do this because we like you. We did this because we are you.
Boom, the world class.